Hi, my name is Kamina Lyle. I'm the Deputy Managing Director of Dart Centre Asia Pacific. The Dart Centre is an organisation that is dedicated to teach journalists about trauma and how to be resilient to trauma. So what we're going to do today though is less talking and more action. And so we're going to be doing a practice that's designed to support us while we're working from home and to improve our relationship with our bodies. And it's going to be chair yoga. So before we start, I'd like you to just think for a moment about your level of stress and tension in your body right now. So if 0 is the most relaxed you've ever felt in your whole entire life, and 10 is just, you're just on complete alert and complete edge, where do you think you are right now? Just ask yourself that question, give yourself that number, and make a mental note of it before we start. A couple of little housekeeping things. This is designed pretty much for anyone, no matter what your ability, what your experience with yoga is. I might give you some slightly different alternatives for those people who might have less experience with yoga, but all of it should be attemptable for everybody. You do need a couple of things. Firstly, you need a chair. This chair is actually a yoga chair. Probably most of you won't have one of those. Any chair is fine. If you've got a kitchen chair or even the chair that you do your work on is great. I'd prefer not to have a chair with wheels, but if that's the only chair you've got, can you press it against the back of the chair against a wall so that the chair doesn't move too much while you're working on it? But hopefully you've got a kitchen chair or even a stool or something you can use instead. Before you grab that, you'll also need a belt. This is also a yoga belt, but any belt will do. A belt that you use to hold your trousers up, a dressing gown belt, or even if you don't have any of those things, just a long sleeve t-shirt that you can kind of use the sleeve part of it for just one of the things we're going to do. And last but not least, a cushion. This is a kind of a meditation cushion again, not needed to be anything fancy, can just be a cushion from your couch or even your pillow. The firmer and tougher it is, the better, but again, it doesn't really matter. Just grab whatever you've got. So maybe press pause on the recording, go back and get those things, and then come back and we'll get started. All right, so I assume you've got everything. I want you just to sit on the chair with your feet on the ground parallel. I've got my socks off, doesn't matter, you can leave your socks on if you want. But the reason I've got my socks off is I like to feel the ground with the bottoms of my feet. So press your feet down into the earth as if you were trying to reach into the center of the earth. Hopefully you've got your legs here at right angles and you'll feel that activating the fronts of your shins and your thighs. Bring your navel, your belly button towards your spine, and then lift the sternum. Lift this part of your body up in as if you're opening up to the universe, to the sun, and allow your shoulder blades to come into your back. Head neutral, relaxed. Then take your arms straight overhead, just with your palms facing each other, and stretch towards the ceiling, keeping your shoulders down on your back. Bring them forward. Your hands are now parallel to the ground. I want you to put your right arm over your left. I'm mirroring you, I hope. So you'll have the two elbows together and then bend them. Now you might only be able to bend them like that, but if you can bring your palms together like this, now you can't see my face because I'm putting my arms in front. And I want your forearms to be lifted, so not sinking like that, but lift, and you'll see what happens with my back as that happens. It comes in, it lifts up. Hold that there, come back and swap over. So the other arm on top, lifting it up. You'll feel a really lovely stretch across the back of your shoulders. And release. Now take the belt that you've got and put it over your shoulder here. We're going to go back up to here. This time we're going to bend that arm, hold on to that belt, and place the other arm behind your back and lifting up towards that belt. So I'll turn around so you can see what I'm doing. So it's like we're trying to reach the two fingertips together, which you may be able to do, and if you can, feel free to do that, but otherwise just hold on to the belt, hold on to your t-shirt if that's what you're using, your dressing gown belt, whatever it is you're using, and then release, and we'll swap. So put that on the other shoulder, arm straight up, bend that arm, hold the belt, and then flick that one underneath and feel that opening in your armpit. And release. You won't need that belt again, so you can put it to the side. Put your arms back out in front of you. Clasp your fingertips together so they're holding in between each fingers, and then flip your arm around so that the palm is facing forward. Hold that there, and then without moving any other part of your body, on the exhale, raise the arms up. And then release, and as you release, you can see my hands are facing up toward, the fingertips are facing up towards the ceiling, and you really feel that stretch in your nerves, and then relax. Do this same thing again, this time swap the cross of your fingers. So just the best way to do that is to just clasp your fingers together as normal and then move them one step over. Press forward, exhale and lift up. Now you might not be able to get all the way to beside your ears. That's okay, just go as far as you can. I definitely don't want you to move any other part of your body, especially your lower back, in order to achieve it. And then release, coming out again through that nerve stretch, and relax. The great thing about yoga as a form of support for your body is that it's all about actually shifting the energy around your body in different ways. So it doesn't really matter how flexible you are, you will still receive the benefit. So if you're only able, because of your current flexibility today, to go to that level, you will still experience the energetic benefit of doing the yoga pose. So I want to come back now to the legs, to pressing the feet into the floor again and feeling that activation of your thighs, and your belly button is moving towards your spine. You're opening your chest and lifting out of the spine. Now this is a little bit challenging, so again, just go to your own limit today. But I want you to lift up one leg and straighten it. And if you can keep it at the knees at the same level, that's great. But if not, you need to just keep it a bit lower, or even just straight with your heel on the ground is fine as well. Try to keep the rest of your body as still as possible. And if you can lift it high, do that. And then bend. And then the other one, holding that up. Feeling the strength that's coming from that. And then down. We're going to cross our legs. Not usually a good posture, but in this instance, we're going to see if we can put I'm going to do it the other way first. Put this foot behind the other leg, but doing it in a way that the foot on the ground is still facing forward and the hips are still level. So again, you're feeling that everything's feeling a little bit stretched in different places. And if you can stay there. It's totally fine to just stay there, but if you can, bend forward and reach towards your toes. Coming up and stepping, crossing the leg behind, keeping that toe pointing forward, and then coming forward if you can. And inhale, come up. Then we're going to put our feet back in that kind of neutral position. Our feet are firmly placed on the floor. And take this leg and bend it out and put the ankle on the opposite knee. Sorry, I've done it the wrong way again. I'm going to start with this one. Put the ankle on the opposite leg. And you really feel it in this hip. Again, just hold that there. If you want to give a little bit extra, put a bit of press down onto that knee, but not too hard. And again, if your knee is up here, that's okay. Just hold it there. Don't press too much. We definitely don't want to do any damage to the knees or to the hips. But if you have a bit more flexibility and you can get into that opening, that hip opening, then you can do that. And then swap. So pressing down or just holding it close to you, wherever you're at today. Make sure that the ankle is as if it was on the floor. There's no kind of what we call sickling where the ankle kind of falls down. You want to keep your foot shape as if you're standing on your two legs. And release. I'm going to go back in the chair a little bit and do kind of similar thing, but this time your heel will be on the chair, so your knee is bent on the chair, and just hold it close to you. Now you can stay there, or if you want to go a little bit further today, bring that arm around and turn to the same side as your knee. Then come back, change legs. So bring that heel onto the chair, hug the knee into you, or if you wish, wrap your arm around and turn. Release that. Now we're going to put the legs apart in a big V. I have to do it in a bit of an angle because of my setup here. This is where it's really important, if you do have the chair on wheels, to make sure it's back against the wall. Otherwise, when you do the next bit, if you choose to do the next bit with me, you might find it comes out from behind you. So we want the chair back against the wall or a really strong chair. But if you can now, bend forward to put your hands on the floor. So your bum's still on the chair and you're just holding that stretch there. And go as far forward as you wish. If you want to come all the way down, you can do that, but otherwise just keep your arms straight and keep your head neutral. And coming out. Back to our neutral position. This time we're going to do a twist to each side. So we'll start with this side. We'll put the hand on the opposite knee and this arm here on the back of the chair and just turn the body turn from the bottom. Have your head be the last thing that turns. So turn your stomach, turn your chest, turn your shoulder, and then finally your head. And coming back to center with your head first, then the rest of your body. So you're turning from, it's like you're twisting from the bottom of your spine. And the last thing to turn is your neck. And coming back the same way with your head first, then the rest of your body. Now I'm going to get you to stand up just briefly. You won't need to move your chair, I'm just doing it so you can see me, what I'm going to do next. I'm going to stand about, I don't know what's that, 1 metre away from the chair and put my hands on the edge of the chair. And you'll see as I do that, that I can stretch down forward with my legs straight, my back straight, my head's level with my arms, and I just hold that there. From there we're going to do a bit of what's called up dog, down dog, for those of you who are familiar with some yoga. So the up dog variation, we're going to put our hands, wrap it around the edge of the chair. Hopefully you can do that. If you've got chair legs in the way, just find the most comfortable place to do that on. And then keep your feet where they are and just bring your hips slowly towards the chair. Don't need to touch the chair with your hips. Your arms are taking most of the weight. Your legs are straight. That's up dog. Then we'll do downward dog. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. Do that one more time. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. We'll take the chair from here, the cushion that I mentioned earlier, and place it down and sit, if you can, cross-legged in front of the chair. Now everyone's going to have different levels of flexibility in their hips, so your knees might be quite high, they might be quite down. What we're wanting to do here is rest our head. So if you have the ability to move forward and place your head on the chair and your arms up like that, then do that. If that's too much of a stretch for you, then an alternative is to put your elbows on the chair and place your forehead in your palms. And then we'll change the cross of our legs, so the other leg in the front, and do the same thing, either with the elbows and the palm, or if you can, stretch forward and put your forehead on the edge of the chair. Inhale, come up. Do the same thing with your legs straight. So both legs are straight in front, you're still sitting on the cushion, and again, either with your hands supporting your forehead or with your forehead being supported by the chair. And then coming up Come back to sitting on your chair. And then our final pose today is you take one hand, put it on one shoulder, other hand put it on the other shoulder. Give yourself a really big hug. Well, thank you for taking this self-care break. Tell yourself, I am safe, I am loved, I am strong. Thank you for doing this class with me today. This very short session, an introduction to yoga in a way that you can do it as a break from your busy day. I want to ask you now, from that 0 to 10 of how you're feeling in your body, how much stress and tension you feel, where are you right now? And is it a different number than the number that you had at the beginning? And just feel over the next hour or so whether or not you feel more energy, whether or not you feel more relaxed, and whether or not you feel more productive. It's not the point of yoga to be more productive, but it is sometimes a benefit of it. So taking a 15-20 minute break can actually increase what we're able to do with the rest of the day. But mostly it's about actually getting the body to generate its own internal energy to respond to stress and trauma. Stress is a bodily response to threat. And so where we experience stress is in our bodies. And so the solution to manage stress, or one of the most important ways to manage stress and especially trauma, is to move that energy through our body. Yoga is one way of doing that. Other exercise, dancing, swimming, running, whatever it is for you, I really encourage you to make sure that is part of your routine. And I hope to see you again someday. Bye, and thank you very much.